fora. Não postei muito vídeo dessa vez. Às vezes as pessoas falam lá, pô, tá mostrando muito e tal. Pô, mostrei, ok, 5%. Se tá impressionando isso aí, porra, legal. Legal, 5%, tá?
Then yeah, okay, maybe there wouldn't be a third match. But if the fight is competitive and if the fight goes to a decision, then 1,000,000% they have to do a rubber match. Of course, Ankalaev came out and he's not shy of tweeting.
When Alex Pereira speaks, the MMA world listens. Known for his cold demeanor and devastating knockout power, the reigning UFC light heavyweight champion has once again made headlines, this time with a chilling promise directed at his rival, Magomed Ankalaev.
I won't say hatred, dislike, and I'm sure down the line these guys will have a lot of respect for one another, but at this moment in time they are mortal enemies, so they're talking a bit of shit. They're getting a little bit personal. It doesn't matter because we as fans, we absolutely love it. Now, there has been a drop-off in support for Alex Pereira. I've said this on another video, but I was quite blown away by this. I did a seminar in Thailand in July, and when I was there, I did a Q&A. There was about 200 people, and they asked me who my favorite fighter was. I said, I don't have one, but who's yours? And I said, I'll throw out some names and by way of an applause, you guys cheer, and that'll tell me who your favorite is. So I said, Islam Makhachev.
Ankalaev. Ahead of their highly anticipated rematch at UFC 320, Pereira declared in an exclusive interview, "I'm not coming to win by decision. I'm coming to beat the shit out of him. This time, there will be no doubts." His statement is bold, brutal, and exactly what fans
shutting down the scariest guy in the division. It was so interesting because the consequences of exchanging with Pereira are so high, but also Ankalaev. Ankalaev has knocked a lot of people out. Ankalaev has knocked out some of the best guys in the division, and he only lost.
Have come to expect from the Brazilian knockout artist. But beyond the words lies one of the most compelling storylines in modern UFC history. The roots of this rematch stretch back to their first meeting earlier this year, a fight that ended in controversy and sparked heated debate across the MMA community. Magomed Ankalaev, a relentless Russian powerhouse with a suffocating grappling style, was seen as one of the toughest stylistic tests for Pereira, who built his career on elite kickboxing. The matchup was billed as striker versus grappler, technician versus powerhouse, and for three intense rounds, it delivered exactly that. Pereira showcasing his crisp stand-up game, while Ankalaev pressured with takedowns and ground control.
O que você achou dessa luta? O que você pretende? O que você poderia mudar, se puder falar, né?
Pô, eu assisti algumas vezes, né? Pô, não assisti tantas vezes que nem as outras, é claro. Acho que foi o suficiente, né? Pra ver ali onde teve as falhas, né? É óbvio que teve algumas falhas ali. A gente tá fazendo treinos ali com a galera, pô, pessoal, boa trocação. Trouxe algumas pessoas de fora. Não postei muito vídeo dessa vez. Às vezes as pessoas falam lá, pô, tá mostrando muito, tá? Pô, mostrei, ok, 5%.
But the fight's ending ignited outrage. A clash of heads in the fourth round left Pereira momentarily dazed, and Ankalaev capitalized, landing ground and pound until the referee stepped in. The stoppage was ruled a TKO victory for Ankalaev, but Pereira's camp immediately protested, claiming the decisive moment came from an accidental foul, not legitimate strikes. He controversy forced
sport compared to his. Yeah, I think the story will be over. You know, it's obviously out of my control. It's up to the UFC, and if they want to do it again, I mean, I'll fight anyone. But you know, to be honest, you know, from everything we've seen, I think with him losing, he's not
the UFC's hand. Dana White announced an immediate rematch, setting the stage for UFC 320, where both men would have the chance to settle unfinished business. The 36-year-old Brazilian feels robbed by what he describes as an unfair outcome. In interviews since, he has refused to recognize Ankalaev's win as legitimate. Instead, he views UFC 320 as an opportunity to reclaim his honor and silence critics who believe Ankalaev's grappling is his kryptonite. That fight didn't show who the better fighter is, Pereira said. This time, there will
a little bit. Let's remember, we all know Magomed won the first one. If Pereira wins the second one, well, of course, you do a rubber match. You do the third one. You settle it once and for all. There could be a little bit of truth to that statement. If Pereira goes out there and smokes him, dominates him from the opening bell, is super aggressive.
Be no accidents. I'm going to finish him so clearly that no referee, no judge, nobody can deny me. Known for his calm, almost stone-faced persona, Pereira rarely uses strong language. The fact that he publicly vowed to beat the SHT out of Ankalaev shows just how fired up he is for this rematch. On the other side, Magomed Ankalaev isn't backing down. The Dagestani fighter, who has long been frustrated by delays and politics in the light heavyweight division, views this rematch as his chance to cement himself as undisputed champion. He's dismissed Pereira's comments as emotional and desperate.
No, it wasn't complicated to get the rematch. You know, as soon as I got out of that fight, I knew I was going to have the immediate rematch. It was just a matter of letting my body heal. You know, I had a lot of injuries, a lot of things. But, you know, him as the champion, you know, it just goes to show that he's got no say in anything. You know, in the end, whatever I spoke to the UFC about and whatever was convenient for me is what's ended up happening. You know, he wanted to fight in July. He wanted to fight all these times and didn't happen. So it came out to be, you know, just as I need.
He can talk all he wants, Ankalaev said through a translator. At the end of the day, when the cage door closes, I will dominate him again. He knows he cannot stop my wrestling. He knows he cannot survive my pressure. To Ankalaev, Pereira is a striker who thrives only when the fight stays standing. But in a 5-round war, Ankalaev believes his conditioning, grappling, and relentless pace will overwhelm Pereira. UFC 320 isn't...
I've said this on another video, but I was quite blown away by this. I did a seminar in Thailand in July, and when I was there, I did a Q&A. There was about 200 people, and they asked me who my favorite fighter was. I said, I don't have one, but who's yours? And I said, I'll throw out some names, and by way of an applause, you guys cheer, and that'll tell me who your favorite is. So I said, Islam Makhachev. I said, Ilia Topuria. Very positive, loud cheer. I said, Alex Pereira. And there wasn't a single sound. Now, if you saw my video where I talked about this before, I apologize for repeating myself. But I was truly in shock because, as I said, he was the fighter of the year. He was the man stepping up all the time. And now, all of a sudden, after one little loss, people have jumped off the bandwagon. So I'm curious to see how...
Just another pay-per-view card. It's shaping up to be one of the most important nights in the light heavyweight division's modern era. Oh, heavyweight. The stakes are legacy-defining. Both men are fighting for more than gold. Are fighting for respect. Lex Pereira. One of the most dangerous strikers in UFC history, with a left hook that has ended careers. His kickboxing resume includes multiple wins over Israel Adesanya, and his precision striking is unmatched. However, his ground game remains a question mark.
To be positive on the Alex Pereira side, would you drop the belt and go up? Or
no, they won't let him.
Ground and fight the winner of Prochazka and Roundtree, or
no, he's not going to be in there with Prochazka again, most likely. Who's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
But he's just not going to be in there with him again. But therein lies a part of the problem. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I don't know what Ankalaev gets if he wins. He already beat him. Nobody asked for this rematch, including Pereira. Ankalaev asked for it. It was a little bit odd. Ankalaev actually got a little bit nasty, calling that, come fight me. It's like, he just did. What is it that you planned that you're bringing the belt this time? I mean, it really was a little bit of a confusing situation. And then to your point, what happens if he comes and picks it up? Well, the right thing to do would be to go to the trilogy. So now you're telling me we not only got to see him fight Ankalaev again, which we didn't want the first time. We didn't ask for it this time. Now you're telling me we might have to see it for 10 more rounds? I'm just sharing.
Magomed, a relentless grappler from Dagestan, trained in Sambo and wrestling. W. While not flashy on the feet, he uses pressure and clinch control to drag opponents into deep waters. His path to victory is clear. Close distance, avoid Pereira's bombs, and dominate on the mat. Pereira.
Yours and all the hoop run stuff. How does that make you feel?
People say that he won, people say that he lost, people say that I win, like very contested, right? Why you don't give it a draw in the left of the belt?
So you are very motivated to get the belt back.
Absolutely. I can't wait for this moment to happen again, and it's going to be a very different fight. That day was not the same Alex Pereira. So if come the regular Alex Pereira, it's already more than that. But imagine now if it's different. It doesn't have to be a knockout, but I feel that I have enough game.
Once again made headlines, this time with a chilling promise directed at his rival, Magomed Ankalaev. Ahead of their highly anticipated rematch at UFC 320, Pereira declared in an exclusive interview, "I'm not coming to win by decision. I'm coming to beat the shit out of him. This time, there will be no doubts." His statement is bold, brutal, and exactly what fans have come to expect from the Brazilian knockout artist. But beyond the words lies